Greetings. In this video, we'll talk about switching back and forth between object mode and component mode. We're working in the Maya Classic, and if we come down here to our Preferences shortcut, we can restore default settings. So for most of these introductory videos, we'll be using Maya Classic, and we'll be using restored default settings. I'm going to create a polygon. I'm going to hit the F key, and let's look at our transform of the object. We have our channel box active. If your channel box wasn't the active view, you can click on the channel box tab, or you can click on the channel box icon. You can see here we can switch either with the tab or with the icons. Now, in standard object mode, I can translate the object, I can rotate the object, and I can scale the object. I want to now manipulate or transform a component. I can switch from the object mode, which is indicated here, to the component mode. Now, when I go into component mode, there's a list of the components, and note that they're all off with the exception of vertices. So what we have the ability to select when we manually go into component mode with the default settings is to select vertex. And I can now translate that vertex. So note that my move tool isn't affecting the entire object. It's only selecting the component that I have selected. I'm going to hit the Z key to undo that. Now, to select the components when you're working, probably a more convenient way is to use the right-click method. So you can see I could right-click and choose vertex rather than switch over to the component mode here. But we want to be able to do both. I'll right-click and choose edge this time, and pick an edge. And you can see that I can move that edge, move or translate the edge. I can rotate the edge. I can scale the edge. As well, I'll right-click and choose face, and I can pick a face, and same thing. Now when we use the translate tool, or move tool, it is moving the face. We can rotate the face. We can scale the face. Now to get back into the object mode, we right-click and pull up to about 2 o'clock object mode. And voila, here we are back in object mode. One thing to note, sometimes you'll get stuck in component mode and your right click won't work because of the way that the components are selected. And the way that you want to force that is just to come to component mode and object mode with the manual buttons. So if you're ever stuck in component mode and your right click doesn't allow you to get back into object mode, come up and just manually click component and then manually come back to object, and that'll force it back into object mode. That's it for now.